What is good, everybody, man? This is your guy, Manny, and this is the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. Join with me, as always, as a sidekick, one of my sidekicks, my boy Eli in the building. So, man, the NFL just continues to shock the world with the Deshaun Watson news. Before we get into all that and more, I'm going to go ahead and run my intro, and we're going to go ahead and record this episode. So, man, shout out to everybody who's been following this journey for Deshaun Watson. I mean, being clear, this was like one of the biggest dramas of all time. And I'm glad that it's over with because, to be honest, I was tired of hearing about Deshaun Watson and all the stuff that he had going on. I'm glad that he's now cleared and able to play football. But there's so many interesting dynamics that went into this whole thing. Number one, you had the 3 teams or the 4 teams that he was interested in going to, right? Number one. Number two, it was like, okay, he dismissed Cleveland at first. Next thing you know, it's between ATL and the Saints. And everybody was excited. Everybody was happy. And in the process, you had these people that got hurt in the process. You talk about Baker Mayfield. The minute that news dropped, Baker Mayfield wanted to get out. And now that Deshaun Watson is finally in Cleveland, Mayfield gets his wish. He's probably going to be traded to a team like Seattle or the Colts. I know he's very interested in the Colts, but let's talk about this Deshaun Watson deal. I'm going to pull up the details of the deal so I can be as accurate as possible when I go over this deal. But, man, you know, he bypassed the Saints. He bypassed ATL, which, you know, that's where he's from. And then he said he's going to the Cleveland Browns. I mean, when I saw the news, when it dropped, it was insane. It was nuts because nobody was, you know, if you say that you was expecting this, you're pretty much lying. You're pretty much lying if you say that you was expecting this. It was a curveball. And guys like Kyle Pitts was talking about, oh, you know, Deshaun Watson coming here. And a lot of these guys jump the gun. That's why you never jump the gun. And it's always good to let things happen the way that they're supposed to happen. You know, they opened their mouths. They talked. Deshaun Watson flipped, and he went to Cleveland. I mean, it was a good move for him. I'm going to talk about the compensation in a minute. Man, it's just a lot of information. So, pretty much, Deshaun Watson goes to the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland Browns give up a first, 3 firsts, a second, and a third to get Deshaun Watson. And it's crazy. I got to go to Schuster. I got to go to Schefter to make sure I'm quoting this correctly. We got so much to talk about, but so little time. There's so many fake Adam Schefter guys. I mean, it's crazy. All right, let's go to Ian Rappaport. All right, let's go to Rap Sheet. If you guys are new to the channel, please like, please subscribe, and please share. I appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support. Let's get to the compensation. Compensation, where are you? And it's funny because all this information was out there for a long time. And now that I need it, I can't find it. It's crazy. Yeah, Schefter had better reports. I gotta get the Schefter stuff. Schefter had way better reports. Who knows? Maybe Schefter blocked me, man. All right, here's the real Adam Schefter. All right, because he really got to dig in and break down the Deshaun Watson deal. All right, so here are the compensation. The Browns get Deshaun Watson in a 5th-round pick. The Texans get 3 first-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick. So it was pretty much like a 4th and a 5th type swap. But either way, the Texans got what they always wanted. They wanted 5 picks. They wanted at least 3 first-round picks. And you heard them saying we want 7 assets total, 5 to 7 assets total, picks and players. But the flip side to this deal is that Deshaun Watson gets a $230 million total guaranteed. So when it's a guaranteed deal like that, making him the highest paid player in the NFL, you don't have to now toss in picks. I mean, our players, extra players. So now they get to keep all their players, and then you now get Deshaun Watson. It's crazy because they traded for Amari Cooper. That was a cheap deal, 5th round pick. You get Amari Cooper. Baker Mayfield is probably going to get traded, and then they're going to get some assets back in the Baker Mayfield deal. This is a beautiful, beautiful deal for the Browns because you can trade a Baker Mayfield for at least a 2nd round pick to a desperate team like the Colts. You might get lucky and get a 2nd and a 1st, or you might get a conditional 2nd, you might get a conditional 3rd. Either way that it goes, it's a win-win for the Browns. What's good, Jason? Jason says Baker Mayfield should be on the Texans then. Yeah, he should be on the Texans, but they did not include Baker Mayfield in this trade. Baker Mayfield is available to be traded elsewhere to get more compensation. I'm telling you guys, the Browns won this deal. Everybody's saying, oh, the Browns gave up too much. It's Deshaun Watson. The Browns have been so terrible with a talented roster for so many years that at the end of the day, you get a Deshaun Watson, even in the loaded AFC. Deshaun Watson is Deshaun Watson, and he's going to elevate this team. I mean, you see teams out here fighting and trying to get players, or you're trying to see, like the Browns get to that next level. They can't get to the next level with Baker Mayfield. They tried for 3-4 years. That defense has been stacked. You're wasting years of Myles Garrett and Cole. So now Baker Mayfield can possibly get traded to possibly the Colts for like a 2nd. I mean, it's just beautiful. They're going to be able to recoup something back for Baker Mayfield. And then now you might see a guy like Will Fuller go to the Cleveland Browns to just, help that offense out even more. So you still have Kareem Hunt. You still have Nick Chubb. I mean, they have the best offensive line in football. I think the Cleveland Browns offensive line is better than the Colts offensive line. So all in all, it's a solid trade for both sides. The Texans get to get 3 first-round picks. They get to start to build. They're going to see what they have in Davis Mills this year, and then they'll decide, okay, are we going to pursue a quarterback this year or next year? So the Texans, they're like in rebuild mode anyways, and you got a haul of picks for Deshaun Watson. So both sides are happy. Now, let's look at the guys like Kyle Pitts, who went and jumped the gun and went on social media saying that Deshaun Watson was going to be here, or maybe he knew something, and at the last minute it was a curveball. Because remember, he said no to Cleveland, but when Cleveland is giving you $230 million guaranteed, $80 million more than what you received before, it was just a no-brainer. Cleveland had the best deal. They stayed aggressive. They knew what they wanted. In the process, they did hurt Baker Mayfield's feelings, but it happens. It's what happens. ATL has hurt Matt Ryan's feelings. He's supposed to be guaranteed a roster bonus today. They pushed it back to Tuesday. At the end of the day, you now have 2 franchises who have disgruntled quarterbacks. If ATL can get rid of Matt Ryan, it just bodes well for them. Why would Deshaun Watson even consider ATL to begin with? They don't have the weapons. They probably have the cap space, but all you had was Kyle Pitts. And then what? So I think that Deshaun Watson looked at all the options. To me, I thought that Cleveland and Saints were better. I thought that ATL was the worst out of all of them. So I'm glad he went to a winner. Everything worked out. And now you get to move on. So also Juju Smith-Schuster signed with the Kansas City Chiefs today. So it gives the Chiefs what they've been looking for, which is a solid number 2 wide receiver. And look, it's crazy to me that it took them this long to make this happen. Juju went to Pittsburgh. He got hurt. Pittsburgh doesn't have a quarterback. He would have loved to stay. He got to play with Big Ben one more year, which is what he really wanted to do. Now he gets to go and play with one of the better quarterbacks in the league in Patrick Mahomes. I'm telling you guys, the AFC is so loaded. You have so much talent in the AFC that whoever is coming out of the NFC is pretty much a cakewalk to the Super Bowl. I'm sorry. Sorry to Rams fans out there. Sorry to Tampa Bay fans out there. I mean, there's some really good teams in the NFC. But to be honest, it's more competition in the AFC. And all this offseason stuff right now means nothing. On paper, every team looks good. You have the Chargers, you have the Bills, you have the Ravens, the Browns now, the Chiefs. So many teams in the AFC, right? And it just seems like more and more talent continue to go So it just continues to go to this side. So let's look at what other deals are happening. This Deshaun Watson deal pretty much broke the internet for a while. You got the J.D. McKissick saga going on. The Bills aren't happy with the Commanders for prying J.D. McKissick away after he agreed to a deal. A lot is going on this year, I hear, even with players that didn't renege on their deals. It says it's not against the rules, just an ethical thing among GMs. It doesn't matter. See, in free agency, when you have all these guys that are agreeing to deals, it sounds good. Everybody's happy. It's just an agreement. You can renege on your agreement. Nobody put a gun in your head and say, hey, you have to take this deal. It is what it is. It happens all the time. And when it happens to you, you're mad, you're upset, you're angry. But let's go ahead and hear what the Bills GM is saying in this short clip.
Sal, that was tough. We had, obviously he was a guy we targeted, and in this business in general, when you have an agreement, it's good, but until there's ink on the paper, and his agent did a great job. Doug Hendrickson and CJ LeBoy did a great job. There were some things that went down with the other organization, which is painful, but they chose to do what they did, and I couldn't stop it.
You did a great job. Let me ask you, does that in the future, just in general, can it hurt agent relationships? Would it in a situation like that?
Yeah, I've had it before where the agent has agreed with you on something, and then someone else calls and says, hey, what if I add $1 million? What if I do this? Or what if I guarantee this? And the agent, once you have an agreement, the agent's supposed to say it's over. And this agent did that. And this agent told the other club it's over. But the other club didn't back off. If you read mine.
Follow up on the McKissick deal, kind of.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have a close relationship with a lot of people in Washington. How does that complicate things? I mean, because you seem upset about how that kind of wrapped up. Does that complicate things? Do you have, that background with people like that?
Yeah, it does.
So that's the saga. It's a business. You shouldn't be upset. You snooze, you lose. It happens all the time. It happens all the time. And hey, I don't feel sorry for the Bills being a Washington fan. I'm sorry. It happens all the time. What's good, Hawk? What's good, Jason? Appreciate you guys hopping on the stream. It says now the Steelers have to get a quarterback and then be in business. I think the Steelers are front runners for one of the two top quarterbacks in the league. If I'm the Steelers, I'll hit up Washington and say, hey, let me give you pick 18 and a third this year and a first and a third next year to go ahead and move up to pick 11 to go ahead and get a Malik Willis or Pickett. That's what I would do if I'm the Steelers, but we'll see what happens. Jason says, I miss Tim Settle. I miss Tim Settle as well. He's one of the better players for the Washington football team. Washington Commanders now, and it is what it is. So this stuff right here is a business, and sometimes you don't get, things don't always go how you think that they would go. Sorry, guys, man, my phone is going off. I'm trying to make sure I'm not missing any news. We talked about Kyle Pitts earlier. He's now talking about curveball. If you guys followed his tweets yesterday, you guys would see that Kyle Pitts was so excited about Deshaun Watson coming here. He put out a tweet, he took it off, and then he says, let's relax and take a breath. Because he jumped the gun. He got some pretty good information, and I believe that it was some pretty good information. And below, somebody says, you're a Texan. He was getting excited without knowing the full details of the trade. It was possible that Kyle Pitts was on his way to the Houston Texans. When it comes to deals like this, and knowing that the Falcons don't have a lot of assets, draft picks would not have been enough for them to release this guy to go over there. Yeah, you can get the 3 first-round picks, but you're going to need at least maybe 2 more assets. With the Browns, it just all worked out well just because Watson at the end of the day has to waive his no-trade clause, regardless of what kind of deal the Texans are getting. But I'm pretty sure the Texans had deals from all 4 teams before anything happens. So yeah, Kyle Pitts right now, he's kind of upset. He's kind of pissed off. But where do the Falcons go now? I mean, you have Matt Ryan, who pretty much wants out. You know what I'm saying? It says more reports. The Falcons were so close to landing Deshaun Watson before blowing the lead to the Browns. I love that, man. I love that. I guess ATL is known for blowing so many leads, right? Look, it happens. Now, Matt Ryan, what happens with Matt Ryan? We talked about this early on in the stream. Does he get traded? I mean, the Colts are an option. The Colts are a win team now. Do you take a chance on Matt Ryan in that contract? Does ATL eat some of that contract? But what assets do the Colts have other than some third-round picks that they received from the Washington Commanders? Seattle's another team to look out for. They want a veteran quarterback, but they also want to draft somebody young. They're starting over, but they're not quite starting over because they still have tons and tons of talent on that team. As we continue to talk about all these different things that are happening, let's not forget that there's still some pretty good free agents still available. Earlier on, I posted a few guys that are still available, like Bobby Wagner, Honey Badger. It's real interesting as the dominoes start to fall. My question is, where does Honey Badger go? Where does a guy like Bobby Wagner go? I'm pretty sure it's going to be the AFC. If the AFC continues to stack the deck, a team like the Titans, right? The Titans were so good that now they're so bad because they've lost all the momentum that they've had, and every team around them have gotten better. You lose Julio. You made that trade last year. It didn't work out. Now you're on the outside looking in. They just got a tight end in Austin Hooper. But at the end of the day, what really happens with the Titans? It says the Falcons should probably put Matt on in the trade block. Yes, I believe they should trade Matt Ryan. I mean, put him out there, see what you get. At the end of the day, get out of that contract. Matt Ryan is like 92 years old. You know what I'm saying? Jason says we cannot afford Bobby Wagner, meaning the Washington Commanders. They can't afford Bobby Wagner. And why would Bobby Wagner want to come to DC at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? So it's those are the harsh realities that hurt as a Washington fan. I mean, it's like, yeah, you can get a Bobby Wagner, but at what cost? You know what I'm saying? Do you give him a big signing bonus and then make his cap hit under $7 million? I just don't see how that's going to be possible. But crazier things have happened. If the market dries up and nobody makes an offer, then he might just go to the team that he can get the best offer for. So that's something to definitely keep an eye on. We talked about Green Bay last night after that Green Bay made that big trade, that big, massive trade. As of today, currently, right now, the Green Bay Packers have 5 picks in the top 100. They have a first-round pick in pick 22 from Vegas. They have their own pick 28. They have pick 53 from Vegas and pick 59, and then they have pick 92. Those are some premium picks. Those are 5 picks. Those are literally 5 starters. If you can hit on each of these picks, which is hard to do, but if you can hit on these picks, hopefully they get some weapons for Aaron Rodgers in the first 2 rounds. Like, if I'm the Packers, there is nothing wrong with grabbing 2 wide receivers in the first round. They're not going to do it. We know they're not going to do it. They're probably going to go 1 offense, 1 defense. But one thing that they definitely need is a wide receiver. It's imperative that they get one. So we'll see what happens with the Green Bay Packers. But if I'm them, I'm possibly going to draft a wide receiver. You're probably hoping that one of the better wide receivers fall to you at 22 because, you have other teams out there that have needs. People are looking for, quarterbacks, and people are looking for all kinds of players. Bill Kamara, man, what's good, man? Appreciate you hopping on the stream, man. Appreciate you, man. It says ESPN. Hey, man, appreciate you, man. That's love, man. I just love sports with a passion is what I do. And hopefully somebody hires your boy because I would definitely love to do this full time. I just do this part time, do this on the side, but I definitely love doing sports. It's just what I do. It says we should draft a linebacker. We definitely should. There's lots of good rookie linebackers out there, especially that kid out of Wyoming. I think it's Muma. He's pretty good. There's tons and tons of linebackers out there. If I'm going linebacker at 11, which they probably won't go another off-ball linebacker at 11, I would go Nakobe Dean. I would go Devin Lloyd, either of the 2 if I'm going first round. And then in the second round, there's tons of other linebackers out there that they can grab that can come in and be instant impact. It says, Aaron Rodgers has lost his best receiver. Yeah, he lost his best receiver, but if you guys were on the stream yesterday, I said that, you know what, even though that Devontae Parker left, I'm not mad at Devontae Adams. I'm not mad at Adams. This is why. The disrespect from the Green Bay Packers was too much disrespect. You go ahead and you franchise tag the best receiver in the game. That's so disrespectful. But then you're going to go ahead and pay the best quarterback in the game and make him the highest paid quarterback, right, in Aaron Rodgers. But then Devontae Adams means nothing. So he can go out there and play on a franchise tag, and if he gets hurt, you don't care, right? So I didn't like that. And I love that Devontae Adams did what was best for him. It was always rumored that, hey, he might walk in free agency and go to the Raiders. But Green Bay was lucky to be able to get something out of it. So him being franchise tag was what allowed them to be able to trade him. And now they create up to $20 million in cap space. How do they use it? Juju Smith-Schuster was a guy that they could have gotten. But now you're possibly looking at lower tier guys like Jamison Crowder and Cole. And then they're also looking into the draft. So we're going to see how this thing shakes out. It says we need another wide receiver and linebacker and DB. Yes, those are the three picks that I would pick for the Washington football team. In the first two rounds, the two most important positions to me today is wide receiver and linebacker. Now, if we end up getting a guy like Will Fuller on a 2-year deal, let's say $15 to $20 million two-year deal, then it erases the need for a wide receiver this year. But I'd rather go through the draft, because if you draft a wide receiver, it's cheaper than actually, going out here to bring one of these guys off the streets. It says it'd be like that, man. It says gotta go wide receiver. I'm with you. Garrett Wilson. I love Garrett Wilson. I love Chris Olave, and I also love Treylon Burks. I love Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is a guy that you can trade back for and still get, but he's not going to have much of an impact this year because of that injury. That's what scares me. Having a quarterback like Carson Wentz, you need a wide receiver that can help you immediately. So Garrett Wilson, Olave, Burks. Who's that kid out of USC? I love that kid as well. The tall kid that is 6'5". Can't think of his name right now. But yeah, Devin Lloyd, he's a really good linebacker, man. Definitely go check him out. He's a really good linebacker that's projected to go in the first round. So it's just all about, where people go. Free agency is still very early. We know that Ron Rivera loves to get, tons and tons of deals. So yeah, it happens, man. It happens. Tons of talent for cheap. Yeah, absolutely, man. Remember the year when they got guys like Logan Thomas, J.D. McKissick? Nobody wanted those guys. I was one of the guys that said, "Oh man, what are we doing? We're shopping at the Dollar Tree. We're shopping at the Dollar General." And then these guys end up becoming something. So yeah, Ron Rivera definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to bargain shopping. I just think that he's waiting for one of these guys to just, fall in terms of a need. I'm telling you, money's going to dry up. And when money dries up, these free agents will have no choice but to take the best deal possible in the best situation. Some people want playing time. Some people want the most money. So that's what you're going to start to see as free agency gets deeper and deeper. You have guys like Clowney. He's still out there. So where does he go? It would be smart for Clowney to come back to the Browns. The Browns are building something special. It seems like each day my favorite in the AFC changes. It was Ravens at one point, then it was the Chargers at one point, then it was the Bills at one point. Now it was the Browns at one point. So I really don't know who wins, but all these guys are definitely in contention for the playoffs. Because Ron should at least make one more free agent signing. I'm with you, but then at the same time, don't make a signing just to make a signing. Make a signing that makes sense. That's all I'm saying. Make a signing that makes sense. And then it's still early. This is what, day 4? There's still tons of guys out there. It's just all about getting the best fit. We got Andrew Norvell, who is a better left guard than Flowers, who would have been a $10 million cap hit. But you get Norvell, and that's a $4.7 million cap hit. So it just worked out. Sometimes you get these bargains, you get these deals, and then Norvell was a first-time All-Pro a few years ago. So it happens. It happens, and we definitely got to see what the plan is. Nobody knows what Ron is doing right now. Everything – you hear all kinds of stuff. And I'm seeing these deals that are going on right now. Like a guy like this guy right here, Muhammad. He got, 2-year, $10 million. So now you're seeing the mid-level guys go for $3 to $5 million. I think that's the range where you're going to see Ron Rivera operating. I don't see him giving anybody more than $10 million the rest of free agency. I just don't. But let's see what happens. Let me check my notifications, make sure I'm not missing anything. So, guys, I posted this today, after Jarvis Landry sees the news, he's now like, yo, I want to get back to Cleveland. So that's just funny to me. I just been having fun with this whole process through Twitter. So guys, man, let me take a few more of these comments, and then I'm gonna end this stream. It says our O-line is probably would rank top 10. Yeah, the Washington Commanders O-line is one of the best in the league. And look, I'm with you. I think it's a top 10 O-line. When you have guys like Wes Schweitzer. Wes Schweitzer was doing some kind of crazy workout today. I mean, the guy is just so good. He's so good. He's so strong. He fits into that system, and he was definitely a guy that the Commanders were able to get for so cheap. So I'm gonna show you guys the video from Wes Schweitzer, and I'm gonna go ahead and end this. Look at this. That is a 70-pound kettle that he's doing, and he's at 300 plus pounds, and that's a 70-pound kettle. So that 400-pound pistol squat. I mean, in his 7th season, Wes Schweitzer is just unbelievable, and that's the starting right guard. I mean, he's going to give you what you got out of Brandon Sheriff. Of course, Brandon Sheriff is an all-pro caliber guy. I'm not saying that he's not, but you get somebody who can come in, step in, and be cheaper, and at the same time provide some kind of value for your team. You have Samuel Cosmi on the right side, right tackle. You have Charles Leno on the left side, and you now have Andrew Norvell on the left side, and of course, Chase Roulier at the center position. So I would say, yes, we do have a very, very good offensive line. Let's see how things shake out. Let's see what happens in the rest of free agency. Everybody's guessing right now who's the best team, what happens, this, that. We don't know. Let's just see what happens, and then we can kind of go from there. So, guys, man, this is my time. This is Talking Sports with Manny. YouTube podcast. Please be sure to like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you guys on the next stream, on the next episode. I might be back tonight, possibly to talk some March Madness. I may not, but either way, until next time, I love y'all. Y'all be great, and y'all be safe out there. Peace.